Coming up on Cruisin', presented by RK Motors Charlotte, nothing but outrageously priced vehicles.
Bought the truck for $5.
$5.
$5.
If you're in need of a rare part, here's a tip.
I found one in an old pig pen.
And like a fine wine, a real hot rod takes time.
11 years to build it and finish it.
Plus,
in combination, you can use both those tags to tell you almost everything you need about the car.
the meaning behind all those little numbers and letters in under the hood. Boy, that's a real nice paint job.
Did you look in the car and see the graphics inside?
Hang on, sir, we'll get to it. Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte, starts right now. Hi everybody, welcome to Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte. I'm Jeff Phelps, and we have come to the 11th annual Blue Suede Cruise. We're at Summit Motorsports Park in Norwalk, Ohio. Now, when classic cars and their owners aren't buzzing up and down this racetrack, they're talking to us. Lois, you were a woman who wanted a car. You were in pursuit of a car. Now you have a car.
Yes, I do.
How long have you been after this Chevy Nova?
It took me 10 years about to get it.
No kidding.
Yeah, I knew the gentleman that had it, and every year when I saw him at different shows, I'd ask him, was he ready to sell it yet? And he kept saying no until a year ago, April, when he finally decided he was ready to sell it. And he was going to put it in Nova magazine, but I told him no. If he sold it, it was mine. So my husband bought it for our 40th anniversary.
That was very nice of your husband. What a good guy, huh?
Yes, he is.
Now, it's a Chevy 2 Nova.
Yes.
Super Sport.
Yes.
Just my head tells me that it must be rare.
It is. It's very rare. They only made the Super Sport 1 year, only in '63. Convertibles were only made in '62 and '63. '63 was the only year for the SS package on it.
And which is one of the reasons you wanted it so badly.
Yes.
Under the hood, what have you guys done to it?
We've detailed the engine compartment completely. My husband took the engine and tranny, pulled it completely, repainted the inside, installed put power steering in it for me so that I could be able to drive it and have more fun with it, and did a little more detailing to the wiring and different dress-up kits to it. That's about it.
Inside the car, what do you like about the interior?
The interior is it's very comfortable to ride in. Convertibles are a lot of fun.
The color of the car doesn't seem like anything that would be normal or flashy, but my guess is it's stock.
It's stock. It's called Fawn Metallic.
I like the look of it. Now that you've owned the car, you tracked it down. It was 10 years trying to find it. Now what do you think when you take a look at it?
I love it.
Worth the search?
Oh yes, it was very well worth the wait.
Bill, we drove by, we saw the pickup truck, and we said, oh, there's a pretty freshly restored Ford pickup truck.
No, it hasn't been restored, except I started in '65, bought the truck for $5.
$5?
$5. It cost the guy $8 to have the title transferred. It was brought home in 3 truckloads. And in the end of '67, I had it done and on the highway, and we headed to Memphis, Tennessee in '74 with it. And Minnesota for the Nationals, Canadian Nationals it's been. It's got quite a few miles on it.
So it's been restored looking like this since 1967.
67.
Bill, that's 45 years.
That's 45 years.
I would never guess that this thing was restored 45 years ago.
Yeah, I had my dad in on this a little bit. He was a mechanic in that, and he taught me a lot of things, and ended up I got in the sheet metal trade. And that's where I restored the body from learning the trade.
And you've never done it since?
Never done it since.
Well, when you do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again,
You don't have to do it the second time.
Can I ask, you bought a pickup truck for $5.
$5.
How bad was this thing?
The bed was bad. That's an all handmade bed that's on it to look like the original one. There wasn't a whole lot there other than the cab, the frame, and the bed, and the fenders, and went from there.
Yikes.
But back then, why? There wasn't too many parts to put one back together. It was hard to find parts. So you made what you could or went to the wrecking yard and got parts and modified them from there.
What was the most difficult part of putting this back together the way you wanted it to be?
keep my wife happy until I got it done.
Yeah, that can be a challenge, I'll bet.
Right.
The bed was easy, putting in the wood, making it look
Oh,
original?
yeah, yeah. I've been handy like that since I was a little kid. So,
What's under the hood?
small block Chevy, tri-power.
And it's been in there since '67?
Yeah. Other than changing the plugs and the points in it, that's about all I've ever done with it. And the oil in it.
Well, now you've had it 45 years looking like this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you plan to do with it in the future? I mean, your son Sean standing right over here, you've had the truck longer than you've had Sean.
Right. Well, he'll end up with it or my daughter, one or the other.
I think he's taking claim right now.
I've had a lot of people want to buy it, and it's just like part of the family. Yeah.
Anything specific about the old Ford pickups that you've learned over the years that makes it even cooler for you?
Just that everybody wants to buy it.
You know, people love old pickup
Old
trucks.
pickup trucks,
They
yep.
really do.
Yep.
Well, I got to tell you, I never would have guessed it's 45 years old with the restoration.
Yeah.
That means you knew what you were doing back in the 60s.
Yeah. Well, if you take your time, and I did a lot of watching of other people too, and you learn a lot watching, and so I put my skills to work, and this is what I ended up with 45 years ago.
Sometimes persistence pays off.
Every time I seen him at a show, I asked him why he drove my car there.
Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte. We'll be right back.
Handling classic and high-performance vehicles requires an industry-leading team of experts. Welcome to RK Motors Charlotte. Industry-leading means meticulous attention to detail when servicing every vehicle. It means a consignment service so fine-tuned that a successful sale at maximum value is all but guaranteed. And a rigorous inspection on every vehicle before its tires even touch our sales floor. It's all this and more that make RK Motors Charlotte the industry leader. Visit rkmotorscharlotte.com.
Now back to Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte. Ray and Carol, we walked by and we thought, being the automotive guys that we aren't, we thought Morris Minor. We even thought Anglia, because we saw an Anglia recently and we thought, oh, well, now we know what an Anglia is. It's neither. What do you have, Ray?
It's a 48 Austin of England. Totally different.
An Austin of England.
Austin of England.
And-
Devlin, they call it Devlin too.
And as soon as I hear Austin of England, I think Austin Healey.
No, that's another family too. It's a totally different. It's somewhat like a Morris, but it's an off-brand of the Morris family. Like,
Basically an English taxi cab they were used for.
Is that what
In
these were
England.
used for?
They brought them over here to drag race
And when did you guys acquire this?
about 15 years ago.
And it looked like what, Ray?
it was just a skeleton with it all, no interior, no nothing. Had a big block in it, and I took it all out and just put a standard 350 in it with a standard S10 rear end. I don't have really, just some fun vehicle I got it for mainly, yeah.
And so when you got it, it was a disaster.
Yeah, it's got the original spring on it, original springs in the back, original frame, all except for the motor and rear end. Yeah, everything's original.
But the guy drag raced it. He used it for drag racing. There was a top fuel wear.
What attracted you guys to this car?
I liked
Totally
it.
different.
It was different.
Really?
I like
Totally
things. We were
different.
looking for a car, but you know, I look at the color and the shape of the car, and I liked it. And I wish I had $1 for everybody that thought it was a Volkswagen, because I'd be rich. It's not a Volkswagen.
Carol, you said it was used as a taxi cab. Well, it has 4 doors. It may be the smallest 4-door car I've ever seen, and there's not a lot of room
No,
in that
there's
back
another
seat.
model smaller than this.
Really?
As I said, I had my picture. There's a 35. This is a 40. A 35 is smaller yet than this. Yeah,
That's
awesome.
funny. So my guess is, since it was a drag car, it really didn't have an interior.
No.
Where did you find an interior?
We had to make it all. Everything, like I said, everything you have to make in this thing because you can't find the parts. Yeah, we did the whole interior and make it
Let
all
somebody
from
do it.
scratch. Yeah.
To find the parts, it's very hard to find parts for this car. He wanted the armrest for the back, and
We found, I found one in an old pig pen over in Pennsylvania there. A farmer had laid in a pasture.
The farmer really had an old Austin
Austin
all
sitting in
rusted
a
out
in a pig pen.
pin pen.
Yes.
And you had to take an Austin out of a pig pen.
to get the armrest.
You guys wanted that armrest.
Yes.
You had to buy the
You
whole
have-
car to get the
yes.
armrest?
We
Yes.
saved what we could out of it, but it was pretty
Brought
much
that home
rusted.
right
yeah.
before my daughter's graduation. I said, no, get that out of here. But you have to get the parts where you can get them, and it's very hard to find the parts.
Where do you find parts, right?
Well, there was a guy we used to call in California. He used to go to England and pick up parts in Australia, and then come back with him. But he passed away last year or so, and I haven't. Just whatever you can find on the internet, whatever. It's really hard.
It has a sunroof. Did you add that?
The sunroof's all original. It's all, like I said, everything's on original. You even got the original flippers on the side that come flip out when you turn, signals, and everything. Yeah, they're all original.
You know, there's something on it that doesn't look original. What's that thing on the back?
Oh, the key in the back.
We added that.
I did that just for the fun.
Yeah, I would think you added that.
No.
Everybody
The kids
calls
really
it a
love
toy
that.
car.
I go by and I pop the thing and they turn, it really flakes.
And you have a key fob for it?
Yeah, it's on a remote. I just push the button and the thing. And then, yeah, the kids really enjoy that.
We love classic car owners with a sense of humor. Best of show out here at the Blue Suede Cruise. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate
Paul, I love
that.
your car. What is it and how long have you had this? How long has this project been going on?
It's an ongoing long project. I bought the car in 1980, put it on the road, ran it until 88, took it off the road, chopped it. Used to have a big blown Chrysler Hemi in it, no hood. We did all these body modifications and all this paint work and everything out of a little garage at home, a little 2-car garage. It's a little home-built car is what it is.
And it is a
It's a 1931 Plymouth PA 4-door is what it is. PA model, early Plymouth.
So you had it, you drove it, you chopped it, then where did it go?
Sat in a corner for probably 10 years. I bought a business and went into business with Mac Tools, and it just sat for a while. Once I got the business on its feet, we decided to start building the car. So then we went ahead with building the car. What a project. 11 years actually of hard work on the car.
So after it sat for all that time, you got it going, and then 11 years to build it.
11 years to build it and finish it.
And it's been finished for how long?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, we timed it perfectly.
You got me with 188 miles on the car.
Nice, that's what we're talking about. Now, to have this as long ago as you did, 30 years ago, and have it in one form, what kind of vision did you have for it the second time around after you brought it out of mothballs?
Always wanted a chopped car and always wanted a yellow car. It was maroon and burgundy, two-tone. Like I say, it had the big Chrysler Hemi with the blower on it, no hood, and I wanted to sleek it down, chop it. And I seen a roof that's in this car at the Frog Follies in Evansville, Indiana in 1982. It was a 10th anniversary run. And there was a 32 two-door, had that roof in it. And I looked and looked and looked. That's an early Chrysler Mopar roof. That's a factory steel roof that's in this car.
Wow.
60 to 64 Mopar wagon. I found one. It's welded in, and the car's chopped 5 inches. So a lot of body modifications to get it where it's at.
What's under the hood?
It's a 355 is what it is. Small block 350, 30 over, turbo 400, and a 9-inch Ford rear end. So what's in there? 31 spline axle, 323 gears, and 30-inch tires on it. It rolls down the road nice. But
I took a look inside.
you like that inside?
I really like that inside.
It's a John Miller interior, which is one of our local interior guys. The car is small, and we tubbed the back end. You couldn't get a seat in the car. So a neighbor of mine's a friend, found the seats for me in California, and they fit. We measure them and they fit in the car. So we just took it to John and he went crazy with it, you know. In his mind, all the graphics that are on the car, he took the graphics and the idea of the car itself and flipped them inside the car. Did you look in the car and see the graphics inside?
I'm going to.
Okay. But John did all that. When we put the roof in, he's got the roof upside down in the car. The headliner is the roof upside down. Really sweet inside, matching colors. And
very nice. So having it one way when you first had it 30-some years ago, then sitting, thinking about it, and then all the work that went into 11 years. Did it turn out like you wanted to, and was it worth it?
Yes and yes. It was a pain, a lot of time away from the wife, but I had help, you know.
It was beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you liked the car.
And congratulations on the award.
Oh,
After all that work, it's worth it. It's the least they could have done for you.
Oh yeah, here at the awesome Summit Motorsports Park, you don't get much better than that, you know.
Research, research, research.
Any information that you would want to know about this car that comes off that cowl tag is in these pages here.
Under the Hood is next on Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte.
Sally, Tina, Betsy, you've developed quite a bond with your classic car. Let the consignment professionals at RK Motors Charlotte make the selling process as painless as possible. Through precision marketing and large customer base, we all but guarantee a sale at maximum value, and we don't get paid until your car sells. We've sold over 1,500 classic cars here at RK Motors Charlotte, and now we'd like to get to know Betsy, at least for a little while. Visit rkmotorscharlotte.com.
Under the Hood is presented by RK Motors Charlotte, specializing in the sale, build, and restoration of world-class collector vehicles.
This beautiful 1969 Camaro came to RK Motors Restoration looking nothing like this, Mike, but with a little challenge for you. Mike Velick, Restoration Manager here at RK Motors Restoration. Restore this to factory specifications. How do you start?
Well, first off, on a car, being a GM muscle that I'm pretty familiar with.
Yeah, you were drooling.
I was ready. I was all ready for this one. Verification. Verify the car. Make sure it is what it is supposed to be. You can do that 2 ways on this particular model. VIN code in your dash here. Pretty much the VIN code is going to tell you a couple things. It's going to tell you whether it was a V6, V8 car, a coupe, a convertible.
Originally.
Originally, yes. Where it was built, Norwood plant or the Van Nuys plant, and its sequence number. Okay, that's what you're going to get from your VIN.
And sequence number means which one it was rolling off the line.
Rolling off the line in its build sequence when it was ordered.
Okay.
Second, then you go to your trim tag. On GM, here's your trim cowl tag, which will tell you, especially on a Z28, very important numbers, an X33 or an X77 body. This particular car tells you it's a D80 car, which is spoiler car. It tells you interior color, exterior color, all that information from that little tag right there.
So the 2 tags allow you to find out exactly what this thing looked like when it rolled off the line, so you can restore it to factory specification.
In combination, you can use both those tags to tell you almost everything you need about the car.
So Mike, you take those numbers, you write them down, then you do a little research.
Right. And for this car, I knew exactly where to go. Claiming that it was a Z28, I went to my definitive Z28 facts book, which is, it's just a dynamite book. Any information that you would want to know about this car that comes off that cowl tag is in these pages here. It will decode everything. You can go straight to any number in here, look it through these pages, and it'll tell you. It tells you 69 was its paint code, 69 Cortez silver. The B was the vinyl top code and the stripe code, black. The 713 would have been the interior code, which in this case, black houndstooth custom buckets, custom deluxe interior. D80 for the spoiler. 06A would be 6 month, A, first week. Everything from that one little plate.
And as a professional, that helps you because then you can restore this car to exactly what it looked like back in 1969.
Exactly what's needed, exactly.
As a guy who's not restoring a car but owns a couple of cars, I never bothered to look it up. And knowing we were going to do this, I did on my '64 Galaxie 500, then went to the internet, and I found it just interesting because I had always heard that my car just came from Northeast Ohio. Right. So I did a little research and I found out, yep, it was made in Chicago, shipped to Cleveland. The model was a 66, so yes, it's a 2-door fastback, 8-cylinder, 352 4-barrel, which I expected it to be. I found out it was the 45,341st car of the 64 Galaxies to roll off. 2-door fastback, vintage burgundy was the correct color. Beige interior was the correct color. January 10th it was made, shipped to Cleveland. Cruise-O-Matic transmission, so it was everything I thought it would be. Which, for just me, that was kind of interesting to find that out.
Absolutely, and all that on one tag.
Yeah, and it's all right there. On the Ford, it is on one tag, which is interesting.
The information that's available for these cars now, internet, books, whatever, but you can take and find everything from them tags. And as long as you do your homework and you don't get burned on something, there are more valuable cars that say, oh yeah, well it was this, that, or the other. Just make sure you do your research before you go purchasing them cars.
So as a professional, a huge help. As a novice who just likes cars, it was just kind of cool.
Absolutely. And it's all there. I mean, there's everything to be known there. Now then you can go farther with build sheets, but that's a whole nother
Now you're going way above my head. Thanks, Mike.
Absolutely, Jeff.
Under the Hood is presented by RK Motors Charlotte, specializing in the sale, build, and restoration of world-class collector vehicles. Visit our website at rkmotorscharlotte.com.
When it comes to restoring or servicing your classic or high-performance car, expertise is the name of the game. And that's precisely what you'll find at RK Motors. You'll find our expertise in the attention to detail that can only be acquired through years of working on world-class builds. You'll also find our expertise in the RKM Performance Center, where we've assembled a team of highly qualified ASE certified mechanics. When expertise is the name of the game, trust the experts at RK Motors. Visit rkmotorscharlotte.com.
Now back to the Blue Suede Cruise on Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte. Charlie, a 1962 Ford Galaxie Sunliner.
Right.
It's snazzy, and I like it an awful lot. How long have you had this?
About 5 years.
And how'd you acquire it?
I bought it from a guy that I knew. His wife passed away, and he called me and asked me if I wanted to buy it, that he was going to get rid of it. Every time I seen him at a show, I asked him why he drove my car there, you know? So
you laid the groundwork for this purchase many, many years before.
Right.
Well, what was it about this car, Charlie, that made you start doing that all those years ago, that made the gentleman who owned it think of you when he wanted to sell?
I think the biggest thing was the Continental kit on the back. You really don't see a lot of cars with the Continentals, you know, and that kind of was stepped out, you know.
It's a snazzy look, isn't it?
Right.
As long as you don't go over bumps too quickly.
Right.
The car itself, what did it look like when you bought it?
Just like this.
It was like this, huh?
Right.
Wow, in great shape.
Right.
The interior is pretty immaculate. I like it a lot.
Right.
What features about this car, along with that Continental kit, Charlie, do you like the most?
Well, it's got the 390 V8 engine in it, which was a popular engine back then. And
it was in all the Ford T-Birds at the time, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it, you know, we wanted it because it was a convertible. And just a lot of fun going down the road with it.
What have you done to it since you've owned it?
Some minor things on the engine that, you know, goes along with you drive it, different things happen, but nothing really serious, and that's about it, you know. Had to keep putting gas in it.
That seems to be a problem too with cars sometimes. Hey, you know what else I love about this? You're here with some buddies. Your brother's car, Jim, over here on the other side.
Right.
What's Jim driving? Model A from what?
Model A.
29?
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And then over here, your buddy in a Corvette?
Right. Leo Datsun. Yeah.
The buddies who cruise together, hang together.
Right. When I retired, I decided to get something that we could just go out and have some fun with, and your older cars, that's all you can have is fun with them.
Some great cars out here today at the Blue Suede Cruise, huh? Our thanks to everybody at the Summit Motorsports Park for having us out. They always make us feel very, very welcome. I'm Jeff Phelps. We'll see you next time on Cruise In, presented by RK Motors Charlotte.